You have just tuned into the Pop-Up Shop with your host, Sean Strickland, as we cover social media do's and don'ts.
So, the 5 most common social media mistakes that I see that are made by entrepreneurs, coaches, creatives, and pastors. Let's go. Number 1, they underestimate the power of social media, period. Number 1, they underestimate the power of social media. If you are a coach, an entrepreneur, a creative, or pastor, and you underestimate the value of social media, the reach of social media, the influence of social media, you are missing an opportunity to get your message to the world. Because in reality, your message isn't for everybody, but your message is for people throughout the world. And we no longer live in this place where you can't reach beyond direct mail, or you got to have $1 million to get on TV. Literally, social media gives you the opportunity to build your own media empire. So the biggest mistake, the first mistake, the most common mistake that I see for entrepreneurs, coaches, creatives, and pastors is that they underestimate the power of social media. I can remember years ago, hey Bree, thank you, cutie. I can remember years ago when I first got on social media. Let me just say, I did not want to get on social media. Anybody who knew me then knew that I'm a reader, and I was like, why in the world would you want to be on here talking to strange people that you don't know? You could never tell that now, right? Because what I do is talk to people I don't know, and not all of you are strange. But anyway, I can remember when I got on there and the Lord was like, no, this is a way to reach the world with what it is that you have to say. And so I really had to open myself up and really begin to think about the impact of ministry, which for me is twofold. It's who I am as a pastor and a preacher, but it's also who I am as a person who teaches people how to transform their lives and teaches women how to build their business. So understand, if you underestimate the power of social media, you are missing the opportunity to get your message, to get your products, to get your movies, to get your music to the world. I just read a report this morning that Facebook reports that they have 2.45 billion active users. Can somebody write that? 2.45 billion with a B active users that log in every month, and that in America, 7 out of 10 Americans that are on Facebook log in at least twice a day. And most of us are like, yeah, it's way more than that, right? And I'm telling you that if you have something to say to the world and you're thinking that you're gonna get there the way we got there in the 90s, and you're like, I don't do social media, you are closing the door to reaching the world with your message. The other interesting thing that I read is that the United States is not the biggest place for social media. And so I've literally now had clients from Africa. My books have gone to Japan, they've gone to Africa, they've gone to Great Britain, and they've gone to Germany. But they wouldn't have found me had I not been willing to really understand the value of social media. So does that make sense? Do I have a scribe today? So number 1, they underestimate the power of social media. Number 2, they beg or complain about the lack of support. Everybody's probably going to go, oh my God, you're so right. They beg or they complain about the lack of active support. I want you to hear this, and I want you to hear this good. If God has called you to an industry, if God has called you to a message, if he has called you to whatever, he has people for your life. Can you say that? Say, he has people for my life. He has people for your life. But it is so important that you learn how to communicate with those people. And I know that it can be frustrating. Hear me. I know it can be frustrating when you're out here and you're trying to do what it is you need to do. And then and I've been guilty of it before, where it's like, oh, you support Beyonce, but you don't support me. And then you have to ask yourself, have I positioned myself with a high level offer? Do I know who my audience is? Have I connected in a way that people want to work with me? Or am I out here begging and complaining about how you're not supporting me because I'm Black, and how you're not supporting me because I'm a woman, and how you don't want my products, and how you're making somebody else rich? Or am I just out here focusing on what I need to do in order to expand my message? And I was thinking about this morning because I saw lots of people complaining, mainly on Instagram, but I saw people complaining about how Beyonce, she did a partnership with Adidas, shout out Adidas, and she did a partnership with Adidas, and she sent a lot of her new products to famous people, right? And people were like, well, she should have sent them to broke people. She should have sent them to poor people. I'm going to tell you from a marketing strategy why she did not send them to poor people. And if she did, why it's not the thing that's going on social media. She wanted to get her brand in the hands of influencers. So if you want people to reach out to you and be like, hey, come to my conference, come speak at my conference, or hey, come and do your book, or hey, whatever the case may be, then you need to build your influence, which means you need to go back to number one. You need to stop underestimating the power of social media. So stop complaining, stop begging. Stop complaining, stop begging. And let me tell you something that people hate. Listen, I don't want to go over our time today. Let me tell you something that people hate. We don't, if you are in an MLL, we're not judging you for that. I think the MLMs are amazing for teaching marketing skills and leadership skills and helping people get out of the box who wouldn't get out of the box. But let me tell you something. You saying, hey, buy my product so I can make the next level. Can I tell you something? We don't care if you make the next level. We want to know, do your products value serve us? Are your products something that we need? We don't care about your next promotion. We don't care. You know, people don't care if I make 6 figures if they don't care about my products. My family cares. My friends care. But if I go, you know what? Oh my God, I'm close to making $200,000 this year. I just need everybody to cash out me. First of all, the people who make $30,000, they like, hell, you make $2,000. Don't be asking me to cash out you. I am telling you, all of that begging and complaining gets you nowhere. Does that make sense? Number 3, because we also got to get into the things that you need to do well. Number 3. People keep their social media private, and I get on to my clients about this all the time. First of all, social media is not a diary. At least it should not be. Social media is not a diary. So as a result, I say this all the time. I'll never forget this. One of my high school friends had 5,000 people on his Facebook like 10 years ago. And I was like, how do you get 5,000 people? Because at the time you could only have 5,000 and you couldn't have followers. How do you get 5,000 people? He said, I talk to people who care about my work. That I say stuff, they care, they send me a friend request. And so I just started following that. And so at the end of it, I'll be honest with you, there are so many people on my social media that I do not know. So many people that I have never met in person. But think about this. There are now people who follow me on social media because you share my video. Could you share the video for me right now? Could you share? Give me some hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so they share the video, and then the video goes to somebody in Richmond, Virginia, who's never heard of me, who sends me a friend request, who then says to their pastor, hey, you should invite this girl to come. And then I end up going to Richmond because I didn't just keep my world in Springdale, Arkansas. I didn't just limit my world there. And I open up. And so there are lots of people I don't know. And now there are people who follow me on social media and they meet me places. And so the reality of it is that if you think your social media is something private and you're living out here living like Drake, no new friends, then you can't be mad because your influence isn't growing. And it's funny because I watch these amazing people because I'm a student of social media. That's right, Shauna and I have never met in person, but we're like super cool. Yanika J became one of my best friends. We were introduced by, she is one of my best friends. We were introduced by Raquel Devine via Twitter. And so I'm telling you that if you say you have a message for the world, you believe you got this God-given gift, you believe that you're a singer, you believe that you have a message to change the world, you believe that you have something to say that people need to say, and you are locking down your social media, you still, number one, don't understand the value of social media. You don't understand it. I literally have gotten to go so many places in this country that I would not have gotten to go if I had limited my world to the people I knew from high school, the people that I knew from the people that I knew from church, and the people I knew from college. I would have missed out on so many people. And when you have a message for people, you got to show up. You're going to show up. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4, lack of consistency. I fuss at my clients about this all the time. Do you notice how consistent Target is with their message? Do you notice how consistent McDonald's is with their message? Do you notice how consistent Walmart is with their message? And your all-time favorite, most of you, do you know how freaking consistent Chick-fil-A is with their message? You have to be consistent. People, not everybody, because I know some of y'all don't like me. I'm okay with that, but I'm talking about the people who get me, the people who want to work with me. The people who get me trust me because I'm consistent. I'm consistent. Brittany, so you're asking me, you want to send me your hoodie and you want me to rock it on a video? Because I'll do that for you because I like your hoodie. And so people who people like me because I'm consistent, or they hate me because I'm consistent. I literally had a family member who unfriended me because they were like, you know what? You always talking about that transforming your life stuff, and I'm sick of hearing it. Hey, I'm consistent. Are you consistent in your message? And let me add a 2-part to this. Are you consistent about the thing that you want people to know you for? And here is a perfect example. Anybody who is friends with my husband, Edwin Strickland, and if you're not his friend, you totally should be his friend because he is freaking hilarious. He has a very serious job and he's a pastor, right? And so he designed his Facebook to be petty. And so he is consistent about being petty. Listen, when I go on a trip, I know he's out of bounds because people start tagging me. They're like, you must be out of town. Go get your husband. That's a very intentional thing. Like, he literally could be a stand-up comedian. He should be a stand-up comedian. But he is very intentionally built. And we laugh about this because he'll say, watch this. I'm going to say something encouraging on my page. And he shares something encouraging on his page. And nobody responds, like 8 people. Like, he says something petty. And like, listen, people cash app him for making them laugh. They're like, you make us laugh. We're so glad we were having a crappy day. People say, we go to your wife when we want to think differently, and we go to you when we want to laugh. Those are both very consistent things. And one time I wanted to be as petty as he was for a month, and the Holy Spirit was like, no, that's not your brand. Come on back over here and do what you do. Come on, what you do. So I see that people are saying they like me to rock their work. I'm honored that you think I have enough influence to rock your work. Send me a picture of your work, and if your message aligns with something that I do, I will be happy to rock your work. See? That's the Beyonce strategy. You try to get your work in the hands of people who have more influence than you do, or at least as much influence as you. No, Shauna said when Edwin is out here being encouraging, they're like, who hacked it? Did Sean get on his page? Okay, so then 4, ignoring what the market tells you. So Edwin knows that his market, they want laughs. They want to be entertained. I know that my market, they want solutions. They want to know how to change their mindset. They expect me to hold them accountable. My people expect me to get in their face. They expect me to tell them to get up off of their butt, quit making excuses, and if they want to change their life. And if that offends you, I'm just not your girl, and I'm okay with that. You know why? There are 2.4 over 5 billion active users on Facebook. If I'm not your girl, if I'm not your cup of tea, go drink some coffee, drink some lemonade. But don't be over here on my page being salty, saying you wish I'd be more like Strick, or don't ask Strick to be like me. Go find your tribe. And so number 5, if you're ignoring what the market tells you, how can you test real quick what the market tells you? How can you test real quick what the market tells you? All you got to do is pay attention to the posts you make that people actually care about. I learned that people care so much about transformation because I actually track what they like and what they engage on. I track what I get inboxes for. I track it. I pay attention to what the market tells me. So many of you want to give people what they don't want. And if you want to give somebody something that they don't want, you gotta build, hear me, you've gotta build consistency so they're willing to take a journey with you. And many of you want to teach something, and because you want to teach it, you think that just because you want to teach it, that people ought to want it. You may not, and then you got your Facebook friend locked down to 567 people, and half of them is your cousins. And then you complaining because your cousins won't make you rich. And they broke too. Okay, so, and then I want to give you a bonus. And I see this as being one of the biggest challenges. So many people on Facebook are inauthentic. And hear me, I'm not saying you're like trying to be fake, like you front, not that garbage where it's like, oh, you fronting like your marriage good and it's not. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that what we have the tendency to do is to look at what has made someone else successful and try to do that. And I know that from a couple of places. I know because as an up-and-coming pastor, I love the way my husband teaches as a teacher. And so I tried to be a teacher like him. And it didn't work for me, even though the content was good, because it wasn't an authentic expression of who I am. Now, this is just a free pastor plug right here. We're in a season right now where God is introducing us to ourselves. That means that he is showing us who we are. And what a lot of people are finding in my Relentless program is who you thought you were is not who God made you. It's what life made you. So what you may be finding is some things that what you thought was uniquely you isn't uniquely you, which is why John 15 says he's going to prune you to be more fruitful, right? And so you don't have to, put stuff in your own words. How would you say it? How do you, even if you want to teach something, I don't have this issue. Lots of times people tag me and they're like, oh, so-and-so stole your work. Let me tell you how I honestly feel about this. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing's new under the sun. I am not saying anything that nobody said before, because God is not, God, wisdom and knowledge belongs to God. And so anybody can tap in to get it. What I happen to be really good at is saying things the way Sean Strickland would say them. I'm telling you to get good at, number one, knowing who you are, which is why you need to do some personal development work. Personal development work. Oh, number 3, Alkini, people keep their social media private. Y'all, okay, listen. And then number 6, be authentic. So here are the 3 things you need to do to change that. 3 things you need to do to change that. Number 1, you need to become a student of social media. This is a 2-part thing. You need to understand what Facebook is doing. Many of you don't have a clue what Facebook is doing. And if you have a private page, you don't get the same analytics as a public page. But Facebook made some changes. And if you're not using ads, you're not going to get the kind of traction that you want, which is why even somebody like me, people will find me on my public page and then they come to my private page, right? So you have to become a student of social media. So when Facebook is doing those trainings and they're saying, these are the changes that we're about to make, then you have got to say, this is what it's doing, and this is how I need to shift to do it. Some of you may be wondering, why did I create a free group? I created the free group, Passion, Purpose, and High Profits, because Facebook said we are about to move away from people not having community. We don't want you to just have 10,000 people that you don't know and you don't connect with. We want you to have a group. That's why you're seeing more groups pop up, right? Number 2, be consistent. Big thing for me, everybody who knows me, who used to follow me, knows that I used to just do a video whenever I wanted to. Life was a lot like this. We never knew when a video was coming, meaning I didn't know either. When I felt inspired, I did a video. And then I started doing Mindset Monday. When I started doing Mindset Monday and people knew that they could count on to see on me on Monday, it changed my exposure, and it changed the people that I was impacting with, and it changed my dollars. Just so you know. And then 3, commit to getting better. Some of you, if you really want to be on social media, you got to learn how to take feedback. You got to learn how to engage. If I post something and it gets a totally different response from what I expected, I don't get mad and say, oh, the people stupid. I say, how can I communicate that better? What could I have said that would help people really understand like what I'm saying? You got to be able to take feedback. And the pitch that I'll make to pastors is that a lot of times when you're preaching, there's not a lot of feedback. There's just, amen, preach it, pastor, turn and touch your neighbor, all of that different stuff, right? And so when you get on social media and people don't agree with you, you don't know what to do with that, but people don't have to agree with you. Disagreement isn't disrespectful. You can learn a lot. They can learn a lot. You can learn how to communicate your positions better, because I'll tell you from being a pastor for 20 years that just because somebody's saying amen don't have a clue, don't mean they got a clue what you actually talking about. And sometimes you don't know that until you engage. So we did pretty good. I started about 2 minutes later. So we're at 22 minutes. It was supposed to be 20 minutes, but that's pretty good. So I have a group. That group is called Passion, Purpose, and High Profits. If you don't want to make money, if you're offended by making money, if you don't want to do the work to make money, I'm not the group for you. Go find a motivation group. I'm really into what I really want to do this year is I want to help at least 20 women break 6 figures using their gifts of transformation to touch other people. So if that's something you want to do and you're really willing to do the work, then do it. And then that's really it. That's what I wanted to say. I'd appreciate it if you would share this video. It would mean a lot to me. Again, if you have some product that you want me to check out, send it to me. And if it's something that aligns with my brand, I will be happy to do it. And we're going to be doing a couple more of these pop-ups, but you can always join me on Mindset Monday. I'm going to be doing more wealth teaching, and I'm going to take a group of women to Vegas who want to be 6-figure women in 2020. And so if you think that you're one of those women, I encourage you to start getting your resources together so that you can invest. And what I'm also going to be doing is I am going to be doing some social media auditing. And so I'm going to be taking on a select group of clients. And if you would like me to look at your social media, because you may go to my social media and go, she doesn't have, 50,000 people following her, but I have the right people following me, and I'm connected, and I'm getting the results that I want.
Would you like to get the results that you want? Thank you for joining us for this pop-up shop with Sean Strickland. See y'all next time.